Welcome back, everybody. I haven't even bothered to come up with a name suggestion this week, but apparently Tharries has one. Today we are joined by. I've already name dropped him, but the man, the myth, the legend, Dispossessed number 6. It's Thomas Harris.
Actually, it's does it Dispossessed number 28? Or actually,
of course. What are you called on TARDIS Wiki? That's what we'll
go.
I think they just listed me as camp resident, which, to be fair,
is that because you're a resident of a camp, or because you're a bit all ducky on set?
That's so crazy. You're on TARDIS Wiki. That's actually mental.
Yeah, it's a bit. No, what was really funny on one of the TARDIS wikis, they had a list of like the uncredited people, and the list was Kate O'Mara Rani, Anthony Ainley Master, Tharries. That was
my
God. What a lineup. My favourite thing I've seen on the internet this week is whoever edited that. Yes. You know how they do all the flashbacks when there's a villain? They've put the scene of Tharries and it just does flashbacks of Tharries going, "Hello, my name's Tom Harris."
Yeah, no, it's Agnor. Shout outs to you.
You're canonically.
Did people like notice before you read?
Yeah, I had a couple of people at me being like, "Am I crazy, or is Tharries just on screen?" I was like. I just was like, I told you I wasn't in Lux.
What did you give it like some acting? Did you really like get into character?
Did you not see that?
Yeah, that was pure methods. That was pure method right there.
How much research did you do?
The disabled part came fairly naturally. I think I had something, kind of part of experience. Being homeless was a new challenge, to be fair. But, I do like that in my two universes, I'm either disabled or disabled and homeless. I've not had the greatest roll of the dice.
Well, Welsh.
And Welsh. Pick a struggle, man. Pick a struggle.
Absolutely marvellous.
Did you talk to like people on set and stuff? And like,
yeah, all the extras were really lovely. Obviously, like Ruth Madley came in and had a chat. I meant all the others.
They were the best.
I meant the others. I didn't mean me. I was like, yeah, I was great company, guys.
Tharries all of a sudden becomes a campaigner for the rights of supporting artists.
No, because on the Confidential, I keep calling it the Confidential, but they had like what's it called? It was access coordinator.
Yes, yeah, they were there for my bit as well. Yeah.
I love as well that it is the single worst kept secret ever, because I think you told everyone, like anyone you've minorly interacted with on Twitter.
I say that Tharries didn't tell anyone.
No, guys, I did not break
Tharries didn't tell anyone.
Tharries didn't tell us.
NDAs seriously.
I was talking to my my theatre friends, theatre and Doctor Who.
There's a big crossover.
But they were. So I mentioned, friends of one of them, but shh, don't tell. And then he went, I woke up this morning and my flatmate ran into my room and went, "This guy I follow on Twitter's been in Doctor Who," and he went, "My friend knows him."
There we go. See,
there you go. The influence is spreading.
Yeah, the crazy thing as well is that obviously I found out it was going to be in the cinema before it went out. So now I have the thing of people are going to know that I'm there and they're going to be looking at me in the cinema, which is crazy.
You know how in the Minecraft movie people like threw their popcorn at the
yeah. That's what we go. Don't do that.
I am Tharry. But
everyone starts
Tharries,
doing the cheer.
You're not the only celebrity here this week. Artie was recognised.
He was.
I mean, come on, like the hotties just get all of public.
I know.
But yes, someone came up. If you're watching this week, thank you very much for coming up.
You didn't get your name, I didn't remember you.
Yeah, Artie didn't even bother to ask this lovely person their name. He was too self-obsessed.
I felt so bad.
Autograph and then go. Or just
I didn't take a photo. I needed to print something out, so I just asked him how to use the printer. To be fair, Joe, you have met him. It was the guy that we took a photo with in the corridor when we were filming Echo, and he remembered it. And he showed me the photo. He's still got it, and it was
iconic. He was lovely. Yeah, that was our first shoot with the Daleks for Echo's Destiny. Yeah, that was good fun. But there's so many big reveals this week. Tharries aren't getting recognised. Omega's back. I mean, can we we'll come on to that more later, but just briefly, is that not like the best news of all time?
Well, what's wonderful about this is that the guy who walked up to me, we had a good joke about how you're not going to shut up about it during this podcast.
Look, what can I say? I've been, as people on Twitter have pointed out, like I was getting Twitter notifications before the Omega reveal had even happened on my screen. People were just tagging me going, "Oh, Joe, how's Joe doing? How's Joe doing?" Someone got a tweet from like 2021 where I was like, "Yeah, Omega's coming back," and it's all, but he's back. I mean, I predicted it. You know, I'm a genius. Really,
is he though? Is he actually back, or are they just going to back?
Well, this is the interesting thing, isn't it? This is because all the sound was archive sound, wasn't it? Like the archive.
It is scary. It is scary, but we'll come on to this.
They wouldn't edge you like that. I think
you never know. They
this
could.
Is Doctor Who. They love people.
To be fair, he has to be back because if he's not back, why would they waste their time with this awesome design they can? I mean, that's so good. You can't just leave that out.
For everyone who hasn't seen, that's the alleged leaked design, but we have it on good word. We have on very good word that is fake. That's not true.
They've said it publicly as well, so it's not just like,
have they?
Yeah. That person you're talking about has,
that top secret person.
Okay. Anyway, the Wish World, guys.
I didn't even have time to actually process the fact that Omega was back because I was watching it, and as soon as they said Omega, I just sort of like span around in my chair and was like, Joe, oh my God, Joe. Like I had to pause the episode to Snapchat Joe because I was in
the
so
video
much shock
you sent is actually insane. It's not coherent. You're just going.
Excited that Omega was back. I was just like, I could just, all I'm thinking about right now is just how is Joe reacting? Like
his
I can't.
little ego is going through the roof right
now. Actually, that's what everyone was just. That's all the episode matters for. But it's insane. It's especially as well when they use that voice. That's like the best because it is from the one of the big finishes, which I have actually listened to. It's insane. Like he's just the best villain, isn't he?
I wanted to be excited for you, but by that point, all of my enthusiasm had been absolutely murdered. So I was just like, oh, Joe will smile at that. And then I kept watching.
Well, that's a nice segue, isn't it, into our initial reactions and reviews of this episode. Because I think it's going to be a good debate today. Because Artie's back on top form, being a miserable know-it-all.
No.
Elise, I think, really enjoyed it. Tharries is in it, so his opinion doesn't matter. And I have no idea what Rosanna's going to say. So should we start with Rosanna? Rosanna, kick us off. What did you think of this episode?
I really enjoyed it. I love it when Doctor Who does something like Big Brother or something like Parallel University, where it's just like everything is twisted. And I don't know, I thought Poppy was so cute. She's just a little babe. She's so tiny and a little hair. And I think Ncuti and Varada are really good actors. What can I say? And Poppy's really cute.
Fair. Artie, I'm surprised you didn't butt in and tell us she's wrong. I respect the self-restraint. We'll come to Artie last.
WandaVision though, because I know Russell's talked about how he wanted to do WandaVision.
Well, this is the thing.
Thank God for that. If you're going to rip off a TV show, you might as well pick a really good one.
I liked WandaVision.
Russell decided he was coming back to Doctor Who in 2021 after watching WandaVision, and I think you can completely and utterly tell that here because I remember I made a video on it before he'd actually decided to come back because he did an interview when It's a Sin went out, which was also January 2021, I think. And he said, Doctor Who deserves what Marvel have. They need streaming shows, they need spin-offs, they need all this. which is quite funny in retrospect. But you can see the One Division connection there, and I think that really shines through. But Elise, do you want to give us your rundown? Because I think you're going to be the opposite end of the spectrum to Artie. Happy
as per usual. I just loved it.
Sorry,
I think it was my favourite episode of this season so far. I just really, really enjoyed it because I felt like it was another one like Lux, and Lux has been my favourite so far. And then I really enjoyed The Well, where I could just relax into it. I wasn't going, oh that dialogue's taken me out of it. There were a couple of dodgy lines that I was like, God's sake, come on. But I just, for the most part, I was like, I'm just enjoying Doctor Who, and it's making me feel things. And there's one person to thank for that, and that is Murray Gold, who absolutely slapped this episode, in my personal opinion.
The Rani's
theme is so good.
Insane.
Yeah, it's so good.
Not even just the Rani's, but like the way the change of the music. I was like, yep, you have been the palm of your hand, Mr. Gold. Like that's, yeah. I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, that was a cool story. I want to feel the things I want them to make. I want them to push and pull me. I want to feel like I'm, my emotional well-being is dependent on the outcome of the episode, and that is what I felt in this episode. So if they fuck it up in the finale, I'm not going to be very happy.
We can only hope. Right, Tharries, we'll come to you now. What were your thoughts? The completely unbiased thoughts of this episode?
To be fair, obviously I did really enjoy it. I mean, there's a certain part of me that can't be too mad because I'm in an episode with Rani and Omega. Like,
That's true. Two
Ranis.
Yeah,
that is actually hilarious that Joe's banging on about Omega for years.
I end up in the one.
And Omega's coming back and he has to watch Tharries' face.
Disgraceful.
Tharries, did you know?
No. The only thing I knew.
No, everybody would know if Tharries had known.
Good point. No, the only thing I genuinely, I said deliberately, like, don't tell me anything other than.
They wouldn't tell you anyway. They're not going to go, hey, guy who leaks everything on YouTube, do you want to know the entire plot?
If it was that, it was good. No, I enjoyed it. I do have concerns with how much we're setting up and how much we're having to wrap up next week. That's a real concern. However, I thought the concept of the Wish World was sick. I thought all the stuff with the Wish World and his society and Conrad's vision of society, and like obviously if you doubt things, you get sent away, very like 1984-esque. Yeah, the cups.
Very George,
George Orwell.
George Orwell, yeah. It was very good.
60s, like the outfits and the little Mad Men office. And
it was very good. It was, and I mean, like the whole thing of, obviously, I will say that the cup thing looks a lot less impressive when you're watching it happen live. They just move a table out the way, and then someone says "smash" off screen. You have to imagine
it's like being on Unleashed, isn't it? Here
Can you tell us anything else that happened?
I remember while you think. I remember when Tharries went, he was like, "Oh, there were these like pig slave masks, but like new pig slaves." And we're like, "What's that?" And then in the Interstellar Song Contest, they're just some random pigs in the background.
Yeah,
it's like,
no, it's funny.
What an anticlimax.
They were filming. I think they were filming Interstellar Song Contest a lot in conjunction with my scenes. So it was really funny going back to when we were all going back into the kind of, I don't know what you call it, cafeteria bit for like food and stuff. It was really funny because you had the contrast of like us, the dispossessed, looking all rugged and homeless, and then you had all these interstellar aliens who'd just been to like a song contest in like the most bougiest outfits ever. And it was such a funny contrast to look at. So that was fun. Yeah. But I enjoyed it.
What food did you get?
This really is Unleashed now. Are we doing this? Are we doing this?
I had a fry up in the morning. I had a fry up in the morning, which was very good, and then I had fish in the evening, which was pretty good.
Did they have a vegetarian option?
They did.
Just
actually.
Out of curiosity.
It was vegan day that day that I went.
Vegan day, so you had fish.
Fish was the only. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Fish was the only thing that wasn't vegan on the menu, so that's why
I'll go with that. Have some of that.
I don't know, I
Yeah.
just feel like Doctor Who. I don't know why, I wasn't expecting normal food.
What were you expecting?
Alien
Like...
food.
You know those things that Clara and Matt Smith ate, the
Yeah.
big blue ball thing.
Yeah, they
go
actually feed us the green sludge that's
in the Impossible Planet. I'm just imagining Rose.
Oh yeah.
I'll have a bit of blue, please. A bit of that.
Is it all served by Oods as well? Just like...
And you get like little food cubes for the first Doctor's TARDIS as well. That you just get
No,
to,
but like
just
at
stack
Joe's
on.
premiere, his sister made like cookies with
Cookies.
They're
ah,
going to have
Yes.
biscuits with TARDIS printed on
and like little Daleks and stuff.
Exactly. So what we're really saying is the catering on Echo's Destiny is actually better than Doctor Who. We have themed cupcakes, themed cookies, courtesy of my sister.
Also,
they need to hire her.
Has anyone seen on TikTok, there's this woman, she's from Newcastle, and she has like this Dalek thing, and she's been putting like ice cubes and jelly, trying to make a Dalek jelly.
Not.
Has no one seen this? I swear it's all over my For You page.
Nope.
I'm going to send it to
I
you.
did see. Have you seen Daleks in the Hood?
Yeah.
What's the Dalek doing in the Hood? That's so good.
It's just a guy driving in the hood, and he just winds down the window and he's like, "Why is there a Dalek in the hood? There's a Dalek in the hood."
It's so good. That made me laugh.
But back on track.
Sorry.
Artie, we're about to come to you, but I'll quickly divulge some of my thoughts. I agree with Elise 100% that, not that it's my favourite episode of the series, but I always, and it's why I rated Interstellar slightly less than a lot of the others, a big part of me forming an opinion is how I feel when I've watched it. Because whenever I go into a Doctor Who episode, like, I will always just sort of, it's like a fresh slate. I go in and am ready to be either entertained or mildly underwhelmed. And this week, there was not one time where I was checking my phone, checking my watch, whatever, and once again it did that amazing thing where I stopped taking notes and realised, I need to talk about this in my review, I need to write some notes. Like, it just captivated me. I thought it was really good, and I can't lie, Artie is gonna seethe when I say this, I didn't think there were any bad lines this episode. Genuinely, all of the lines.
One. Oh, I can't remember.
I was like, that's good. And it fits the tone. It's 1984. It's George Orwell. It was all brilliant. Now, Artie, crush this podcast down to reality.
Rain on the parade, or flood the parade.
No, but this is the thing. This winds me up because I genuinely thought this would be, the YouTubers trying to stay friendly to the showrunners for the hope they get to go back to set again or for the first time. And then the rest of us say how bad it is. And because you all love it, now I'm just really... Sorry, Joe, I'm really pissed off because I don't want to come and tell a bunch of people who loved an episode of Doctor Who that I hated it. But
yes, you do. You love it.
You hated it.
I thought it was awful. I thought it might be the worst episode of the era.
You're just wrong. I'm sorry, you're wrong.
Right, you're rage baiting here because how were you not thoroughly entertained?
Because I don't even know where to start. One thing I will say is that I didn't think any lines were like outrageously bad, but I just thought all of it was just sort of generically bad. I thought the dialogue was so bland and without any depth. I thought the sets looked like they were from Power Rangers again, just sort of.
The sets are so good. You are factually wrong.
I thought the lighting was so flat and boring. It made the whole thing look empty.
You're flat and boring. It was great.
To give that like it's nothing. It's like a 1950s suburban hell essentially, like Desperate Housewives.
What a comparison.
No, Desperate Housewives is such a good show.
I've remembered. Sorry, one line I didn't like. I wonder if it's the same as Elise. Elise, what's the one in your mind?
There were a couple that I was a bit like meh about. The only one that's coming to mind is, "Oh, you ableist."
Yeah. I had that same one, and I was in the same riot, so I can I can back it.
I thought it was a bit.
It has the seal of approval. I thought it was a bit cringe. I cringed a little bit. I was I get what you're trying to do, but I cringed a little bit.
Particularly as all of that time with Ruby and Shirley, like, I don't know, I felt like there were we spent a lot of time like with them just crouched behind it and all they were doing was touching an iPad. I didn't think that was a bit of an issue with the episode.
Also, where did the tripod come from? Where did their tripod come from?
I also thought
it's a collapsible tripod.
I wanted to see them die, if that sounds really morbid, because you it implies that they die, but they're just like, and then you cut.
Yeah.
They all fall into the abyss.
Also, it was the way that Mel was stood there and everything was crashing down.
Yeah,
she wasn't falling, she was just still suspended.
I was like, guys, die.
No,
I love it when Doctor Who, like, you know, in Doomsday, when they just kill a bunch of people, like, on the street.
You just did was that intentional? The Michael Rosen, that poem. Oh no, that's Melanie. She was really nice.
But except she's not dying, she's just sort of, and everything's like crashing.
But that's because, and if they don't do it next week, I will cry. Wasted opportunity. The Rani has to be like, Melanie, I'm back. Like, she literally cosplayed Mel in her technically last appearance.
Do you not think, though, they're trying to make Mel the new, like, Sarah Jane?
Yeah, it is. Can we have Sarah Jane? We have Sarah Jane at home.
It's not quite working as effectively, is it? It's not quite working
I
as
think
effectively.
it can do, because, like, I don't know, I really like Bonnie Langford.
Oh, I like Bonnie Langford. The problem is Mel in the classic series was a lot weaker of a character to begin with than Sarah Jane was.
Also, like, her scream, I want that scream back, because the way, like...
No, please, my ears.
They shouldn't have done it to every episode, guaranteed, but the way that I would, like, go into the... Like, that's such a bop. That's, like...
Didn't JNT say that was the reason they cast her? Is because her scream...
Yeah, she's got a... Like, she's, you know, was in Bugsy Malone and stuff, and, like...
I remembered another line. It's not really a line, it was just, Ronnie! Like, cut a few seconds off that, I think, shooting, and then we'll be good.
I like the
only major cringe. The only major cringe, and I wouldn't even say major, but Doctor! I'm Rogue and I'm on a green screen. Wake up, man!
I can't get over how bad that was. That was so. The
oncoming storm.
Fundamentally, I'm really happy that people are enjoying Doctor Who, but can you enjoy something better, please? It was such trash from start to finish.
He was in Glee. He egged Rachel.
The fact that they filmed that clip with Rogue, like, while they were doing the Rogue story, and the effects on it were so trash. Like, it was stock smoke asset in front, stock smoke asset behind, orange. That's what you're doing when you have well over a year to do your effects. What is going on?
I didn't even know what you just meant.
Also, what was the point of him? Like, what was the point of him being there?
Rogue is Omega.
You're going full Christopher Eccleston. What's the point?
This is what
I do feel like I'm going full Christopher Eccleston because sack Russell. No, I'm joking.
I do not endorse this message.
I also don't endorse that message because I was talking to someone else who hated the episode yesterday, and they were like, "Do you know what? We actually need a new showrunner." And I'm not Russell.
That's enough.
Russell bought my loyalty with 4 of the best series of science fiction, so he's allowed to make one of the worst episodes of Doctor Who.
How can it be the worst?
How can you look, even in this era, how can you look at Space Babies and Empire of Death and go, yeah, this is worse? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Empire of Death is worse than this week. I do think that this is, like, close to the bottom.
But also, like,
even comparing it to not this era that you could compare it to, like another Doctor Who episode that you think it's about on the same level as 2, but that's not a Shushi Gatwa one. Because I want to see how bad we're talking here with your opinion.
Like Love and Monsters was like...
I don't know, because my issue with the episode wasn't that, like, episodes that make me mad normally are like The Timeless Children or Empire of Death, where they make or where they make story decisions that I just fundamentally disagree with. But this one, nothing in the story I fundamentally disagreed with. But while I was watching it, it just felt to me childish. Like, it's just all the sets and the characterization of the villain. I mean, I think, Joe, you brought it up the other day.
Yeah.
It felt like a Saturday morning cartoon. It felt like a show for children. And I don't know. And I get it's Doctor Who, so it is.
The one thing I'll say on that is what I said last week. The Rani is so close, the way it's performed is so close to the Rani from the classic series. And I was saying last week, does that carry over
I think
into the modern day? I really enjoyed it. I thought it worked really well. But there were a couple of moments with the Rani where it felt like Russell just started writing the master. And it was like, no, keep this as the Rani. The whole dance number, the disco ball,
I'm so glad.
I really enjoyed that dance number because
I'm so glad that was a fake out though, and it was like classical music. Because if she'd have started doing another pop song, I'd be like, for God's sake.
Yeah. I don't know, because I haven't seen much of the Rani. I think I've seen like 3 episodes of her. And like, I like.
You've only got 4, hasn't you?
There's only 3.
There's only 3.
Like,
if we're including Dimensions in Time.
I think, that doesn't count. But I think I didn't see like the full story. I saw like episodes.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're only 20 minutes, really. But like, I think she's very camp still. Like, she was played by someone from Dynasty. I don't know, and I just think it works because she's not the master.
She was in Life on Mars, wasn't she? Was she in Life on Mars?
Yeah. She's Sam Tyler's.
No, I know. I was making a joke, Joseph. Don't worry.
I was going to say, on your camp comment, though, have you seen the outtakes for Dimensions in Time where Kate Amara gets told to dial back her performance and she goes, I'm sorry, I was under the impression this was a camp show. Have I been doing this all wrong? Is it not camp?
I will say as well that the Mrs. Flood has a great line that was like, it almost felt Sarah Jane Adventures in a good way, not in a bad way, because I love that show. But yeah, exactly. The bit where she's like, that's the thing about doubt, Mrs. Smith. It festers, and that's my job to cut it out.
Yeah. That's another line.
Pleasure. No, I liked that line.
No, not that one. It was do this, do that.
No, that's good.
I didn't like that one.
So much
I liked that.
I mean, just like a children's show, just cutting away to like.
I hate to break it to you.
I think
it was
I enjoyed the stupidity of some lines. You know, Mel being like, "I'm a single woman with no children. I've got nothing going on in my life."
That was the point of some of those lines, wasn't it? Is to be like, "This is what I've been told to think."
Well, you know, when he's like, "You're beautiful," and he's like, "How can a man be beautiful?"
Yeah, I like it.
I liked that. No, it was good.
I love Kate.
That was the point, though. Yeah, that was the point.
I thought Kate was...
No, my issue... My issue with that line is just that the look they did before that, just like that communicated it already. It was like he said you're beautiful, and then you got this look, and that had communicated it. Okay, now which world is this homophobic place? And it had sort of nuance to it because it was unspoken.
No,
and then it's just like, no, you can't think that because you're a man.
Also,
the whole point of that line,
woman was back.
That line isn't just to say this is what's happening, because obviously you can tell from the glance. The whole point is it's how you do the mind control. It's Orwellian 1984. People have to keep repeating it because they're not only convincing the others, they're convincing themselves of this lie they've been told.
Yeah.
I don't care.
But that's the point of it. Like,
that's so bad.
It's not bad. It's good.
It's like saying that 1984 is bad when they start doing the double thing because it's
But it's obvious that that's what's happening. It's obvious that they're trying to stop them from thinking. They don't need to call it double think. They don't need to say that.
Artie reads Animal Farm and he's like, look, the pig should have just been doing facial expressions the whole time. Okay, this is ridiculous.
You know that bit in Adventure in Space and Time? I can do this with a gesture. I don't need all this golding up.
I love the
I love the eyebrows that we're getting right now.
You know when she calls not the police, the doubt police, And like Mrs. is in this like camp little like we get rid of the doubts. Love that. There's a bit in 1984 where that happens again, and it's just like I love it. I just love I cast doubts. I reported him, and then she gets reported, and then Poppy's left to like.
You're not safe even if you
I got something to say about that as well. Are we ever going to see Carla's mum be nice to Ruby?
I know.
The only thing she ever seems to do is go, I hated seeing your mum, Ruby.
In my notes for the episode, I literally wrote, Carla goes mean, sad, brackets, again. It's like, how many times? This is the third time we've had that beat of Ruby being like, oh no, my foster mum doesn't like me, and Carla going,
Is this the first time? Is this the first time we've seen Cherry Sunday being a bit of a cow? Because that caught me off guard. I was like, Cherry, not you too.
The cup of tea lady.
I got Cherry.
Hey, listen, in the end, she's just annoyed because her teacups keep breaking. That's what it is. Sending her over the edge.
I have a conspiracy, right? And it's not actually my conspiracy. I'm pretty sure it was the wonderful Joe Brennan who I saw tweet it. Right. Was this episode... Obviously, I don't want to delve too much into behind-the-scenes speculations, etc. But,
intentionally bad?
No, was this episode, and this whole season, meant for Ruby? Because when you think about Ruby's place in this story... It's split between Belinda and Ruby. Ruby should have woken up as the Doctor's wife, and then she gets triggered. It runs into the forest, screams, what's going on? And then she decides, I'm going to start this little rebellion with Shirley Ann Bingham. Rather than, do you know what I mean? It's almost like one storyline for Ruby, one main protagonist has been split into two characters because the original plan was to keep Ruby throughout the whole season. And it probably explains why in the guest episodes with Belinda has basically no character, because they were probably writing for Ruby and then were like, oh, well, Ruby's not here. Belinda!
It's also the fact that, like, as well, in Space Babies, they call the Doctor and Ruby Mummy and Daddy, which implies...
This is what the Doctor and Ruby say. Poppy goes... Are you our mummy and daddy? And he goes, oh, I wish I was. He says that to the babies. So it's clear. Do you know what I mean? I think it's clearly meant to be the Doctor and Ruby.
Yeah,
but when Millie Gibson, for whatever reason, couldn't do that whole season, they invented Belinda, and it now feels a little bit disjointed because, do you see what? It's such a thematic, like, character thing for Ruby to be having the doubts. Ruby runs into the forest. Because also, Belinda's, like, mum and auntie, that's just Carla and Cherry. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's funny that we only meet them split.
It's funny that we only meet them in the dystopian alternate reality, isn't it? We don't actually meet them in the normal universe.
Well, that's because the Earth's gone and normal.
No, I know, but I'm saying
they've spent quite a while trying to get her home.
No, I know that bit. I know that bit, but I'm just adding to what you were saying that it feels like a late edition later on that they had to tweak.
No, because I also feel like Belinda is amazing and better than Ruby. I can't tell if that.
No, I agree. I think Belinda's genuinely such a good companion.
Which makes it more of a crime that she had sod all to do in this rubbish episode.
No, she had because also I think it wouldn't have worked with Millie because Millie's like what, 19?
Yeah.
And the Doctor famously doesn't go for 19-year-old blondes, does he? Never happened in the show before, has it?
Hang on, the split companion as well, because there's this whole thing about Ruby's dad being mentioned. Like she mentioned him on the podcast, but that's a whole nother story. Belinda's dad's got this whole thing about laughing. Have they made who originally was meant to be Ruby's dad? Have they changed that to Belinda's dad?
Yeah,
she does keep mentioning her dad, and we didn't see the dad in the.
Yeah,
well, they're not supposed to go to work while the women stay at home and do nothing.
Maybe, yeah.
That's what Conrad says, and Conrad's never wrong.
I did think though, I quite liked that. Because obviously everyone's been making the joke of like Bro thinks he's on the team. You've got like 2-time ladies, you've got Omega, you've got Conrad was just a pathetic little baby in this.
Like, am I doing everything
I bought
right?
you a sandwich, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Can I
yeah.
have a break?" It's like,
Yeah, it
I
seems like
that.
You know what we haven't spoke about? The first scene. How
the Seven Sons.
Yeah, I love that whole scene. It was really random. I was like, what's going on? But Mama got turned into flowers, and the kids were like, Mummy! And then they got turned into ducks.
Was it? Because her name was Violet, wasn't it? So was it Violet Petals? Because it looked a bit like the toy maker's flowered petals when she went.
And the baby went, ha 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 ha.
I love that. That was so
I will
good.
say, no, that did give me slight Space Babies flashbacks when its mouth started moving. I was like, oh no.
No, I loved that bit. Because I didn't expect it. Like I wasn't. Do you know what? With what was his name, Mr. Ringading? It's so sort of obvious that it's because he keeps going, "Don't make me laugh," and I'm like, what's going to happen if he laughs? Whereas the baby, it just, because also a baby would do that. Do you know what I mean? A baby would laugh. Like it felt so natural, and you hear it, and then you go, "Oh, it was the baby did the giggle." It's like
I've seen a lot of people slag off the Pantheon, and I am a fan. I'm not a fan of how easily they're defeated, but I do think the concept's really cool. I still think it's cool, and I will stand by that. I think this series kind of proves it. Like the idea of this little baby that could just construct a whole universe is just such a cool premise. And
I loved the line from the Rani, the breast milk line. That was so good.
That was a great
line.
Wait,
which one was that? I missed that.
Yeah, like if a child god of wishes had infinite power, we'd all drown in breast milk.
That's that's true. Yeah.
Artie, what did you think of the first scene? Because you pulled a face, and I did not like that.
I thought it was dreadful. I thought it was so bad.
Have you had a bad week?
Am I actually?
Have you rewatched the episode? To be fair to you, Artie, a lot of people online didn't like this episode.
Yeah,
like a lot of people, and I do understand.
Artie, you're just like Doctor Who Twitter. Don't worry.
But 2 out of the 4 of you I respect the opinions of, and it's like
you can debate amongst yourselves in the comments.
Figure out in the comments below which of those there are.
I'm genuinely shocked that like anyone likes it.
Why do you look so scared?
Am I the problem? Like,
somebody else talk.
I thought it was so bad. I thought it was so bad.
What was the? Okay.
I really,
take a breath.
Really want to like it.
Breathe.
I really want to like it.
Take a moment.
No, but if people like Doctor Who, then I want to be people. And
deep breaths.
Have you? Which coincidentally is a better episode than this? Have you watched the episode back, or have you only seen it once?
No, I saw it once because I didn't want to watch it.
I would be intrigued by next week. Oh no, you'll see it in the cinema again anyway. I want to know whether if you watch it again, you find more enjoyment, because that happened to me with the Interstellar Song Contest. No, I didn't like it as much on first watch. Second watch, I was like,
I wasn't hyped for it. I wanted to enjoy it more than I enjoyed the final scene of last week, and I found it to be on par.
No, I think it was
genuinely an episode-length version of the final scene of last week.
I think I can get on board with the idea that like some of the scenes were like some of like the fan service moments were a little bit like, oh, we're doing this now. I can get where you're coming from to an extent with that, but the first like sort of 30 minutes ish are really good conceptually. And
I love the unit stuff as well, like the unit stuff.
Yeah, the United
National Insurance.
Whatever it was. It was good.
That was great. I mean, I love the idea of turning the Doctor into an insurance agent, a job he would absolutely hate. And John Smith loves it.
I like these ideas. My issue wasn't with any of it conceptually. I thought the story was decent. I just thought the episode itself was bad. It's like, I just thought it was shot terribly. I thought the dialogue was awful.
No, I'm not being funny. It's got one of my favourite shots in all of Doctor Who, when the Doctor's in the pinstripe suit and he's strutting down on his way to work, and the camera's, and I was like, oh,
and you see
okay,
like Ruth being like, she kind of goes in between them, and it's completely unknown. I really enjoyed it.
I was there for that. But then also, I haven't studied film and TV, so
Neither have I. I'm
shan't
just
speak.
a punt. I just thought the whole thing looked terrible. Apart from, I will concede.
Wait, cut. Give us a sec.
Apart from, I will concede that Shooty Gatwa's costume was awesome, and him in a bowler hat. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of trash the episode is. I will watch that forever. I loved it.
I didn't like the costume.
What?
It's cool in the context of the episode, but it's not a good Doctor costume.
No,
It's so cool though.
Do you not find it like a good little like
That was
1950s,
it fits the vibe perfectly. Like costume department 10 out of 10 for the vibe of the episode. But Artie's saying it as if like, oh, I'd love to see more of the Doctor in that. No, he's not the Doctor. He doesn't look like the Doctor.
I didn't say the Doctor. I said
wrong.
Shooty Gatwa in that bowler hat.
You're just pulling on the poor
He
man.
was pulling it off so well.
He pulls anything off though. That man's hot. He's just hot.
There's no debate here. We finally reached a point where no one can debate.
Did
We've
you
just-
see Did you see the meme, by the way, of, you know, when she calls up the authorities to like report John Smith of Shooty, and people were saying, "Hello, my husband's having gay thoughts. Take him away."
I did think it's kind of wild as well. Touching back on Rogue. First, like, properly queer romance. And where do we next see Rogue? I'm in the hell dimension, guys. It's like, ooh. Also, like, on that, I thought Rogue, I love Rogue as a story, but I got the vibe by the end of it. They're not in love. Like, that wasn't a real proposal. They're like, that was like a lovely, like, that was like a lovely, almost like one night fling. It was like,
It's just like,
the
you're
sadness.
snazzy, let's have a snog.
This is
It
what's
wasn't
sad.
love.
The end of Rogue is sad because they probably would fall in love, but they'll never get the chance to. That's why it's sad. It's not sad because they're in love. But in this episode, it acts as if they are in love. Like, he literally says, I love you. You met him for
No,
one
he
night.
didn't. No, he did the typical
Well, he did.
Rose Tyler. No, but
he
he
said,
went
"I love you."
Rose Tyler. And
No, but he said love. He said love, and then it got cut off.
and then it, you know.
No, read the subtitles.
And also, the fact that he
Didn't cut
filmed
away.
that in conjunction with Rogue, I would be really happy to see Rogue again if he was going to be in the finale, but it doesn't sound like he's going to be in the finale at all, so I feel like it's just there for the sake of being there. If he was going to be in the finale.
You know, they paid Rylan quite a bit and Graham Norton, so
That's where all the budget
Rylan
went.
and Graham
But I want
Norton
that
are not getting paid anywhere
And
near
Tharries.
Jonathan Groff.
Yeah, that's true. They had
How
to
much
give
did
me
you
all
get paid for
my.
it? Did you get paid?
I did, yeah. I got legally.
How
They
much?
had to. Do we think that the reason the story, when Conrad
Sorry, what's
does
happening in the
I
corner?
don't know what's going on there. I'm
Carry
trying
on,
to do a
Tharries.
smooth transition.
Sorry, the nerds being nerdy.
I loved the bit with Conrad telling the stories of the Doctor on the little screens.
Yeah,
and I also love that they've made them look like old school books and stuff like that. Have
They
you
look
seen
like
the-
old school Harry Potter books. Like
Well,
they're in that same
I
kind of
thought-
thing.
Oh, I did like that. I was
I bet you did. I bet you did.
I was wondering if that
And
was like a
Conrad's
dig.
back on it.
No, I was wondering if that was like a dig because obviously it's
Well, yeah.
Conrad's wish and it's like his favourite books are by the transphobe.
Well, no, I was going to say when you think about the episode, you've got the old woman who is conserving this conservative society, sitting in her castle on high, demanding orders, while you've got the little incels going online and telling people the story. Like it's all one.
Yeah.
It's cheating.
Well, I liked it because I think the implications was because obviously Rani wants the Doctor to remember, right? So like it explodes and then the underverse is revealed. I liked it because it was kind of like it felt like conditioning of the Doctor, being like just occasionally giving him these little memories of, oh, remember this, Doctor?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't.
Also, Susan did a Rose thing where she was like, and then got.
I'm nervous about that. I'm nervous.
I don't get
'Cause there's
nervous,
that-
but I'm starting to get a bit shaky.
There's that bit at the end. That bit at the end where he's like, I have a daughter. Do you know what that means? And I'm like, oh no. Are we going to do a thing where like Poppy's Susan's
I
mum?
said it last week.
Definitely.
I'll say it again. Space baby, unearthly child. It's the same thing.
I don't think they are.
Poppy.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think so.
And if it
I
is,
agree.
that's exactly something Russell would do. Do you know what I mean? Because it's also the first episode of the first ever An Unearthly Child. The first
I'm
episode of
calling
this
it
new era
Seasons again.
is Space Babies. Like, we've all been asking, why would you call it Space Babies? Anita Dobson says at Comic-Con, oh, when I read the script, I understood Space Babies completely. Because Unearthly Child, Space Baby, Poppy is Susan's mum. I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
And all
But then
this.
I feel like they've made it too obvious with showing Susan. I feel like Russell does quite like to pull the rug on from underneath us. Maybe that's what he wants us to think.
Also, if Poppy is Susan's... Actually, I'm not getting there.
I think Poppy is Susan, right? That makes more sense.
Sorry.
Imagine
What were you going to say,
I
Arthur?
know exactly what I was going
regeneration,
to
Artie.
Artie's just being
No, that's not where I was going.
Then where on earth were you
You
going?
disgraceful individual. Where I was actually going was, does that mean that the Doctor then has a kid who then Poppy?
What?
What?
If Poppy is Susan's mum and Susan is the Doctor's granddaughter, then that means somewhere down the line the Doctor has a kid who then goes and Poppy.
He's
What aren't you getting about
Poppy is the
adopting?
Doctor's child. Okay, so Poppy, far in the future, will have children with someone else, and those children
Wait,
will
hang
be
on, were you-
Susan.
Some weird
hadn't put
incestuous
together
Tyler
what-
the Doctor would be
hang on.
Poppy's mum.
What? What?
No, would be
Oh, we
Cat.
thought the Doctor would have a little boy instead. Fucking misogynist. Yeah, bet you
No,
do.
because what if the
Oh,
Doctor? If the
We've
Doctor's
been
had a
playing
kid,
nursery.
if the Doctor's had a kid, what on earth is she doing yapping around on a space baby ship?
Spaceship.
Well, to be fair, the Doctor isn't exactly known for sticking around for his loved ones, is he? So like, I'm off now.
Also, it's going to be, I'm telling you now, we've seen it in the trailer, the Rani's
You're
like
telling us now.
new Gallifrey. The space babies
Well, it
are
was
Rani
like that.
experiments, genetically engineered Time Lords carrying on the work of Tecteun to bring new Time Lords. So all the space babies
So,
are
Luke,
baby Time
Any
what
Lords.
you're
time
saying
someone
is
says that
that-
name, I just can't be arsed. Like,
So what you're saying is that they're lubes.
Exactly, they
So
are
I think
looms.
you are probably right, but I think you'll probably be right in about 6 seasons' time. So if we wait a bit, it'll come
Bold
back
of you,
round
bold
and
of
you'll
you
be
to assume
okay.
we're getting 6 more seasons.
Yeah. No, I am worried about that because I think that part of one of the great mysteries of Doctor Who is we don't know how all that went down, you know, and I don't really want to know. There's some things that I feel like we just don't need to know. You know, I don't need to know.
When
know,
a Time Lord and a Time Lady love each other very much.
well, exactly. I don't need to know who Mrs. Who was and what they got up to. I don't need to know.
What's funny, expanded lore-wise, the Doctors. So in the expanded canon, we're going proper nerdy here. You can check out my History of Omega video if you'd like.
As a hottie, I can't comprehend it.
The Doctor. The mother of Susan in the expanded universe is a woman called Patience, right? Which is for Dr. Patience. But she's called Patience. She was the wife, before he got blasted into the hole, of Omega. So maybe Omega's coming back to be like, you stole my wife!
So what you're saying is Russell T Davies is ending this series with the Time Lord equivalent of the Jeremy Kyle show. They're going to bring them out and be like, you are the father.
Poppy's going to be like, you ain't my mother! Yes, I am!
I would love... Yeah.
Also, on Omega, quickly, they refer to him as the first Time Lord. And I thought that was interesting because isn't the Doctor or Tecteun technically the first one because she's the one that does the regeneration jab? Or are they calling him the first Time Lord because he was the one that figured out time travel, so they didn't take on the Time Lord name until then?
Actually, yeah, surely they wouldn't have had the Time Lord name until time travel was a thing. Otherwise, that's quite a presumptuous title to have.
Oh yeah, no, I agree, but
we're Time Lords.
I agree, but I'm saying this was the species not It's the species founder would definitely be Tecteun, right? Like, unless he's retconning it, which...
But Time Lords, the first Time Lord would be Omega, because you wouldn't call the species Time Lords unless you can time travel, and Omega created
But I mean, they could
so.
call them time Lords because they can live for a long time, you know?
Maybe time travel was actually named after the Time Lords. Maybe it came around that way.
We're doing a Stephen Moffat.
We are doing a Stephen Moffat. We get that word from you.
I've lost the plot of this podcast.
I'm completely lost.
I think I like played with lipstick for like 10 minutes while you were talking about like Omega and Time Lords.
I think I tuned out thinking about how bad the episode was and got distracted.
Speaking of that, can we just say that how cool it was to have a giant seal of Rassilon on the wall? It was cool seeing that when it just a big seal. I was like,
Also, another thing I liked, because obviously there was a lot of exposition and even I got lost, and I'm a massive Whovian. I imagine like normal people when Ronnie's doing that big speech. But then she was like, this isn't just exposition. Yeah. Boom! It was
fourth wall stuff again. Ooh.
It was actually useful. It was useful.
I liked it.
It was fun. It was nice. I liked it.
Only if they explain it though, because there's been too many little lines like that for this to go on. No, because you can't. You know, I thought that was undiegetic. You can't like just sort of leave all that. You can't. Otherwise, there's this sort of half-shattered fourth wall that's sort of a little bit there that they can beat through, and then they can go, no.
No, but when they defeat Sutek with a reprise of "There's always a twist at the end," Omega, sorry, that's how they're going to defeat him, Joe.
Hang on, you're saying that as a joke? That was what they were supposed to do with Sutek. That's in the original script.
I know. I'm saying they're bringing it back for Omega. You're going to get your big Omega. I am the god of the Time Lords. There's always a twist.
Right, I don't know much about Omega apart from the fact that Joe loves them. So update me on the Omega that's not just like the little stock cube.
Imagine Sutek but a cat.
No.
Hang on.
Joe, give your speech.
He's going to be a cat. He is going to come back as a cat. I'm telling you now. Poppy at the start of the episode starts meowing, and then they're like, "What do you wish there was a cat here?" Omega is literally. It's going to be like a cat versus dog season 3 finale. Sutek versus Omega. Just whacking each other. Oh, and someone pointed out in my comments when I made that joke. They were like, "And think about it. It's all foreshadowing. If you have a cat in your house, you can't leave a mug on the table because it will just get smashed off." So it all ties together.
And cats have 9 lives. Time Lords have multiple lives.
Omega is the cat that died in Robot Revolution.
It's all goes in together. The cat is irrelevant. The cat is not irrelevant. Boom. Wow. But Rosanna, to give you the quick, you've seen the 3 Doctors, surely?
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
But like, I don't ever pay attention.
He created time travel. I've got a whole 30-minute video if you want to.
I'm not
going
to
check
watch
it
that.
Put it on 2 times speed.
To be fair, as an avid fan of the Echo series, Rosanna, you should
really struggle with Joe's videos. You're about to say.
Yeah, it's like
Rosanna, how did we meet? That's what I thought. Shut up.
But I don't know.
Sympathising
just as an aside, Joe, because after being approached, it's quite intimidating. How do you cope with all the YouTube fame?
Hey! For context, guys, that's what Rosanna messaged me all those years ago. How do you cope with the fame of being a YouTuber? It's such a hard life. It's such a hard life.
It had quotation.
I don't know how I cope with the fame of YouTube.
Because someone at school had to go at me because I had Doctor Who TikTok and I used to be successful.
Washed up.
You've fallen off.
But I have a YouTube channel now with no videos.
How Doctor Who is.
Shut up.
Anyways, I really enjoyed this episode. I want to know more about like the camping scene from Tharries, but
I feel like we're going all over the place. I don't know where we're at.
Kind of like the episode. To be fair, it's on theme.
I think to be fair to Artie, I want to make a quick point. If the finale is bad, this will go down in my estimations a lot.
But that's not being fair to me because that implies that it's been good so far.
But
no, Sunday. Legend of Ruby Sunday is sent massively downhill because Empire of Death.
No, but I was thinking
in
about
itself, it's still a good episode.
No,
No,
I was
of
thinking
next
of this.
week,
See, I was
it was
thinking about this.
trash.
Legend of Ruby Sunday. When you actually think about it, don't get me wrong. Time when Legend of Ruby Sunday came out, I was hyped because Sutek was back, and Sutek is my Omega. You know, he's my lover, as we know. Yeah. So I was hyped. Exactly. Yeah. You know,
we heard last week what Tharries does with that mask. We don't need to hear it again.
Romantic candlelit dinners with Sutek. Anyway, point being, I was obviously really hyped when that happened. But if you actually watch Legend of Ruby Sunday again, nothing happens in Legend of Ruby Sunday. It's just them kind of waiting for a reveal to happen.
Well, it's exactly the same as. No, it's not though. It's not though. It's the same with Flux in that Halloween Apocalypse is a good episode. It's a good piece of television. But the problem is Tharries. The problem is, as soon as you get the resolution to Flux, it goes down. An episode like War of the Sontarans still remains up because it's still a self-contained story, whereas the Halloween Apocalypse is entirely set up with no payoff. And if the setup's bad, it ruins this episode is basically all set up with no payoff, which is fine if part 2 is a 10 out of 10 story. This will then go
I guess my
high.
Point, yeah,
but
my
the problem
is,
if it's not, because this episode is basically set up, like you can't watch it on its own. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can watch War of the Sontarans on its own.
No, because it gives a bit of utopia. I could watch this probably, like, it wouldn't have a good conclusion, but I could watch this on its own and it would be some vibes to utopia.
Yeah, but if I want to watch Utopia, I then want to go on and
it's a world building.
But it's different to Utopia though, because this whole thing is set up. Every part of it is basically set up. Do you know what I mean? You do kind of get a little resolution with, like, they're in this don't worry darling world and then they break out of it at the end. Like, you get that, but that's not, do you know what I mean? Like, it's so, all the character stuff.
You also find out what the Vindicator was for.
Yeah, I did actually love that you get all these little, like, as cringe as Rogue's inclusion is, it was still nice to have, like, Susan Triad, Rogue, all of these little things, especially if Shruti is possibly leaving next week. It's like a nice way to round it.
It felt like a bit of like a. Well, it's not as good as Stolen Earth, but you know what I mean. That kind of thing of, like, we're bringing in all the gang from. It's not as good.
Nothing can be as good as Stolen Earth when you get like.
I didn't say it was.
Billy Piper, Freema Agyeman, Catherine Tate, Elizabeth John Barrowman.
I didn't say it was as good. I'm just saying.
When Jackie Tyler shows up in Stolen Earth, it's just like.
I thought you were going to say it next week. I was like, wow.
No, it's Billy Piper showing up next week, guys.
As the Doctor. I actually can't believe that this might be our last episode. I'm not ready for him to stop being a Doctor. I'm not, like, mentally prepared for that to happen.
I have hope. You're all such negative.
But this is what's scary though. Is next week may have to contend with 2 Ranis, of which we'll talk about in a second, but it's so obvious Mrs. Flood is playing the role of the Master's wife. She's getting worn down, and at the end she's going to bomb goodbye Rani.
She's going to betray
We've got 2 Ranis. We've got a Wish Baby. We've got Omega. Yeah. We've got Omega. But I think that was definitely a reference to Sarah Jane, not the Ranis.
You all get fucked.
I know what it was. It was, the 2 Ranis. What a hoot is it?
No, but I don't...
It was a Sarah, because Ronnie Thingy, the comedian, went on.
Thank you.
And then he went, the 2 Ranis.
Yeah.
Idiot.
No, but I thought that was, you were referencing that without realising that Ronnie and Ronnie, the 2 Ronnies.
I'm dressed as Sarah Jane.
No, but I thought you only knew it through Sarah Jane. I thought you didn't get the 2 Ronnies joke.
This is so. You like Pink
You don't get the 2 Ronnies joke. This is what I mean.
I do. What are you on about?
That's all candles.
You can all get Sarah Jane.
Candles.
But
Xbox
we've got.
What's going on? Sorry,
you are all uncultured. They're doing the 2 Ronnies sketch.
Yeah, exactly, guys.
Yeah, Rosanna knows what's going on.
Right. Oh no,
Point
he's just
being,
still.
You've got all of these elements, plus a possible regeneration, plus the bringing back of Gallifrey in
plus
an
Susan
hour.
Plus Poppy.
Plus Susan plus Poppy in an hour. That's insane.
That kid bloke is probably coming back because
Yeah.
his robots were in it,
Oh,
and he says,
yeah.
"Oh, I'll see you again, Doctor." And let's be honest, it's not going to be season 3, is it?
You never know.
Who?
Well, that guy in the Interstellar Song Contest, Horny McGee, you know.
Horny McGee.
Horny as in horny
Cards
as
on
in.
the table, calm down.
I didn't mean Horny McGee. I didn't realise that sounded.
Everybody's favourite guy. Rosanna, why do you look like you've just pooed yourself? What's
God.
going on?
I don't know who you're on about.
The guy from
The
last
guy-
week, the Interstellar Song Contest terrorist with the horns.
The one
Oh,
that came in just snogged
Kid.
for half the episode.
That's
Yeah.
why we said kid.
I said kid food.
I
and
know,
said
but I
Horny
literally
McGee.
thought you meant like some horn kid, and I was like, what? It's bank holiday, guys. It's been a day.
My brain stops working.
What's the wrong? Right, we're going to try and steer this back in the general direction of some form of coherence.
Point is, there's a lot going on next week, and I think we'll be able to wrap
yeah.
it all up.
Exactly. Other thing I want to bring up before we get our special guest, before we read some comments. Oh, we don't. No, we can just read YouTube comments. I didn't ask anyone on Instagram. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't put out an Instagram
Disgrace.
comment this week.
Yeah.
We'll just read some YouTube comments, and we've got a special guest. But Kate Stewart and Colonel Ibrahim, do we care?
I care.
Yeah.
I love them. I think they're such a like cutesy vibe.
I care about Kate, so I care about him by like default.
Yeah. I'm like, get it.
He has
Yeah,
no
go
character
hit
other
it,
than the
hit
fact
it,
he's hot.
But then actually, to be
Just like
fair,
you in these podcasts, of course.
it feels like now they've done the whole thing about, oh, you should get with her, so, it's not dignified for a woman to work. I don't know how I feel about it now.
I thought that was like, because
Why does that change the
back to the
dynamic?
I don't know,
world.
maybe I'm just too much for feminazi.
You are too. No, I just think because it added to the world, every little joke that they made.
Yeah, no, I get that. But then now if they get together, it's going to be like...
Nah,
No,
'cause
because-
they were
No,
getting together
I
in the
disagree.
No,
office.
because they were
Oh.
getting together before,
I think,
Yeah,
if
but I
anything,
want
it's
her to be a
creepy from
single woman
her.
that
She's
fits.
she's like his boss, like properly his boss.
No, I
Also,
don't.
she's like 15 years older than him.
I'm
Like, I
not
suppose the
saying
age
he's
gap,
a
it's not
president.
that
Get it,
big, but
get
Because he
Get it,
also
get it,
he
get it,
wasn't
get
going for it as well. It was Shooty convincing him. But it's just like in this ideal little world, like I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe I've gone a bit.
I
too
would
feminist today.
agree if they hadn't established that they were into each other before this episode.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but they have. So it's not like it's not like it was a byproduct of Misogyny Man's vision.
It's not like I have
we've
a
had
really
horny
strong
man
opinion.
and misogyny man. What a lineup for next week.
No,
It's the
but
new
speaking of
Thunderbolts.
like, I just love the Rani. I love Archie. I think she's great.
She is really
She's
good.
brilliant.
She is
so
Did I
really
see?
Also, did you
see
guys
that
see
thing
the
that I
behind?
sent?
Oh, you go on.
Just about the Durham Doctor Who Society and watching all of the Rani
Yeah.
episodes this week, and they're calling it MILF Week, and I love it so much.
Well,
Oh.
fun fact about Tharries. Fun fact about the Rani.
She's a
or
MILF.
Archie. She played a lesbian with Gillian Anderson.
Whoa.
I just
Whoa.
I should
And the
tell-
crowd goes wild.
I thought
And the crowd goes mild.
Together.
I should let the general public know.
You're doing them a service.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, did you guys see the behind the scenes footage of her Sonic? Her little Sonic syringe thing? 'Cause it's really cool because the leather on her Sonic is the pattern of the Rani's original costume. Which I thought was
I
really
love
neat.
how disgusted Artie looks that anyone's got any form of enjoyment out of this episode. He's just sat there.
I thought it was
just
cool,
thought-
man.
No, because I love the way she just
Mm.
instantly commands the room and just like everything. I feel like she could literally like breathe and everyone would be like, oh, you know what I mean?
I love the line about at the start when they're like, we thought Jakob would be a nice name. He's like, I think it's terrible.
I love that.
Yeah, I just and
She
also-
gives very Cruella de Vil vibes.
but
I don't
why?
I want her
else
to
gets
become a
that.
companion. I want her to have like a little bit of a reform and then become a
No.
companion.
A reform.
I love her. I love how because
a character.
she's not like Missy.
Development.
Missy is very the master. Missy is clearly not mentally all there, but she still has that kind of passion, while as the Rani literally is all there and does not give a shit.
Well,
She
All calculated.
Well, yeah, they do say it as
this
well,
is
don't they?
this is the problem though, that I thought there were elements like when she talks about that baby name that I absolutely love, and it's like that's so Rani. But sometimes I feel like, because the main characterization of the Rani for what I like and to differentiate from the Master should be she isn't evil. Like I like that they established she's not trying to kill people. Her main thing should just be whatever my experiment is, I'm going to do it, and I don't care. She doesn't have any social skills. She does not care. If she doesn't like something, she'll say she doesn't like something. I don't like when she's doing the theatrical stuff. That's not the Rani. The Rani would not get a disco ball down and do a theatrical thing. She's not really a villain. She's just a misguided scientist. Like, obviously
fair,
she's a
they do say
villain
that line
by
as
the
well,
way
don't they, where,
that she
like-
does stuff.
She
But-
says about like, well, I wish this like little world didn't have to all die for my.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's not like she's written badly in
Yeah,
the
and there's
episode,
also
but there's
that
a
line
couple of
as well.
moments, it's as I say, where the Master just peeks through, and it's like, no,
don't
I love the
think
Master,
so,
but keep
though.
that for the Master. The Rani
Actually,
doesn't care about the
I just
theatrics.
don't
The Rani is
think
just
so.
very
Because
deadpan, very.
I don't think so, because I think the way that, like, if you interpret her with Missy, because you can't really do it with John Sims, but I feel like her and Missy, it's completely different. And I don't know, I just think it's very well performed, and I love her from Bend It Like Beckham, so.
I did like the line as well about like all of your other
No, you can't speak Artie, go away.
No, I was trying to say some rages, man.
Right, get on with it then.
I was saying, she was saying all your other foes are bent on destruction. I only wanted to create life, which I thought was quite good. So I thought that was there. I agree with you that I think maybe the disco ball was a bit too mastery, but other than that,
No, that's what most of it was good. just some of it. Like I want to make sure she is very different to the Master, because she shouldn't revel in the evilness of it. She should revel in my experiment is here. Artie, stop being a beg and speak.
say
Well, the
your line.
reason I was putting my hand up is because I was going to wait for you guys to be done, because I wanted this conversation. Because I have absolutely nothing good to say about the Rani, but I have a theory that occurred to me while I was ignoring you.
So nice and polite. Anyway, go on. Give us your theory.
So
Somebody else stop.
Omega is the boss, isn't he? The one who waits the geezer at the end behind.
We don't know. I think the Rani's the boss, but we'll go with Omega. Sure.
Sorry, I love the name, the geezer at the end.
The geezer at the end. Right, we've got a horny boy, we've got the geezer at the end, and we've got who was the other one?
Misogyny man.
Misogyny man.
What a team! What a team!
What a team.
But go right. I don't think Omega is the boss, but
Okay, well, then it's a bad theory. But so Omega's whole thing is like it. Don't nod your head, you crone. But Omega's whole thing is he needs like a vessel to exist in the not antimatter universe, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, well, just the universe.
Look.
Yeah,
I'll let
it's
you
not
guys
antimatter universe.
Okay.
It's called the universe.
And since all of this chattering about the geezer at the end, that's when bi-generation started. And both the Time Lords we've seen regenerate have bi-generated. So could he be causing bi-generation in some way, like as a new form of like creativity to make himself?
I'm going to get there first, Tharries. I'm going to get there first. Confirmed by Russell T Davies today, we will be getting an explanation next week as to where bi-generation came from and why it's happening.
You heard it here first,
You're a
folks.
genius. Marvellous.
Anita Dobson is Omega. You wanted a redesign, her cat-like presence on
Hello,
screen.
dearie. It's me, Omega.
Imagine the 14th Doctor, David Tennant, is Omega. They're doing a full Marvel.
This is the thing. No, this is the thing. Did you see? I was going to point this out on Instagram. He's got the sideburns back. He's got the sideburns back. I don't know.
Yeah, but they
Isn't
filmed
that
this
half
2 years
film?
ago.
Yeah, but if Shooty Gat was popping off, you know.
Oh, for
No,
God's sake.
no. David, we love you, but no. Not.
No, I
I'm
can't
just
say that on this
saying.
channel because I get told off and saying dumb blonde don't know what she's talking about. More David Tennant, please. So I won't talk about
So
that.
hasn't he got the sideburns back because they're shooting
That new
Good
TV
Omens
show,
3?
yeah, the one set in the 80s. What's it called?
Maybe. I don't know. I just saw a bunch of people on Twitter being like, oh my
I
god.
haven't heard of a TV show called Maybe.
I'm pretty sure they're shooting Good Omens 3 around
I don't.
now.
They've
it
already
not-
done that.
What was that
haven't they?
about?
Good
What's
Omens
that
recently,
he had the
TV?
red hair, wasn't he?
What's
Bit
that
brown.
sex TV show he's in?
I don't know, but
Rivals.
he's
Yeah,
not
that's
coming
the
back to Doctor
But I
Who.
don't
For
think
being real,
I don't think he has sideburns in Rivals.
they've definitely already done Good Omens as well.
He
All
might
I'm
have done
saying is-
something new. It's okay for him to have been hired for a new role.
I don't think it is,
Previously been on
actually.
Ghost.
I don't think it
Neil
is.
out
Just
to be
start
If he's got
the same three shows.
sideburns,
I only
it has to be
brought it up
established
because
sideburns.
I only brought it up because Twitter was like, oh my god, could it mean something? And then obviously with By Generation, it made me like think like, oh yeah, he did By
So what have we
Generation.
learned, Tharries? We don't listen to Twitter.
I think
What
I
you
know
do
that
listen
better than
to
most
is my
judging by the last
spot-on
couple of
theories.
days. I don't think
Have you been uncancelled yet?
if I listen to Twitter, I probably kill myself.
God.
Rid the universe of your film!
Twitter is insane. I
Yeah.
hate. It's why it's the only social media that I barely use because it is terrifying. Everybody on there, even you, Tharries, they are all out there
I
to
can't
just
believe it.
score points of we just owned this person, yeah, and it's like it's so scary.
Isn't Twitter like porn nowadays?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't
Depends on
know.
what you search, Rosanna.
I think this is
swear
a self-report.
No.
Right, I'm gonna
Dear
warn
me.
our special guest that
I'm gonna warn him. Your fate is almost here. Oh no! Our special guest this week. We'll have him on in a minute, but is he your cousin Artie? I think it's Artie's cousin, right? Yeah.
he's my cousin.
Wait, why
He's-
don't you get Will on as well? Or not?
Did Will like the episode?
Artie's
So you're not
cousin.
speaking?
No, Artie's cousin's a viewer of this podcast. Remember, he sent in a comment
Yeah,
the
he
other
put
week.
the messages in, yeah.
That's why I don't think
I hope
Artie's
he's
brother.
less
I
of a
don't think.
miserable bastard than the original.
I am
That's
intrigued.
my
I'm
brother.
intrigued.
We could have my brother, then we'll have some of Elisa's. We've had Elisa's sister.
Some of the many roster of Elisa's sisters will get them
There's
in.
40 of us.
The litter of the Collins.
My dad was quite excited to. He messaged me on Saturday and he was like, have you filmed your podcast yet? Because he hadn't watched any for weeks because I forced him to watch the first two episodes and he didn't watch any until I made him watch last week. And then, have you filmed the podcast yet? And I went, no, not yet. Messaged me again the next day. Have you filmed the podcast yet? And I was like, we're filming it tomorrow, Father. We're filming it tomorrow. So he will be watching this week.
Oh, we love you, Mel.
caught up.
Mel,
Mel-
will you
Mel
please
liked
guest
this week.
star?
Yeah, he liked
Next
it.
week.
Melv liked this week.
Can we get Melv as a guest
very
star
sorry.
next week?
Should we just get
I'm
all
in
of that
Durham.
on?
No, but
can't.
can we send him the Zoom link and he joins?
He'll be listening now because he told
Melv.
me that he's got a face for radio. So he's
Melv,
not.
the ball's in your court.
I think Melv would be a great finale guest spot, considered like he's been watching it since that actual classic.
He is the one who waits.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
him. That's-
Can you imagine if he was in it? and he
He's the
kept-
geezer at the end.
Yeah, he's the geezer at the end of the
Also, I
podcast.
want to know who, because everyone's implying that it's Mrs. Flood that grabs the ring. I want to know exactly like who it is.
I've
you
got a
know?
bonkers theory. Do we want to hear the bonkers theory? That's definitely not going to
Bonkers,
happen, but it's worth
girl.
saying.
Is it John Sims?
Mention that man once more. Yes, actually, yes, it is. The hand that picked up the tooth, if you look at the red nail varnish, Kate Stewart picked it up, put it in a unit vault. What have we seen in the trailer? One unit are
unit
fighting the
vault.
bone beasts. They bring out one of the vaults like they did with the Shriek, drop it on the helipad. The Master is kept inside a unit vault, while the Doctor's dealing with Omega and the Underverse. Unit are like, oh, what are we going to do? We've got Time Lords. We can't fight Time Lords. A Time Lord could fight Time Lords. And they get Missy, or a nicer version of the Master, out of the vault to go and stop the Ranis while the
If they
Doctor's in the
bring one back,
Underverse.
it has to be a previously established master because I can't cope with having a new master thrown in while all this is
Yeah,
going on. But
yeah,
if they
yeah.
bring back one of the
Michelle
three new
Gomez.
ones,
Because
I'm
Michelle
done. I'm
Gomez
shifted.
comes back to Doctor Who, I will say this episode was good. I
Michelle
love that
Gomez.
woman.
Michelle Gomez was at the Doctor Who season 2
I
premiere
know.
alongside Joe Martin, alongside everyone else. Why was she there? when Joe Martin's there,
Absolutely love
everyone goes, oh well, it's Joe Martin's there because
To
they're
be
Doctor
fair-
Who alumni. Joe Martin's in it now.
Not to rain on the parade, but Martha Jones's mum was also there.
And
I
she's going to
don't-
show up in the finale as well.
Bring
He's
it.
gonna slap someone.
Also,
I
you know,
said
maybe
she
That-
was
that'd be
orange.
iconic.
maybe it'll be
That'd be
someone who
iconic.
wasn't in the
So
premiere
nice.
because all of the best guest spots, Tharries, weren't invited.
True.
I hope Tharries is in that vault thing. He just comes out and destroys everything.
I have been waiting.
I hope you have like lasers in your wheelchair and a good
I'm
Yeah,
saying
like Shirley Ann
I
Bingham.
want the laser upgrade. Russell hit me up. I want the missiles.
Doesn't Shirley say in the Star Beast? She's like, we all have them.
Yeah,
There you go. It's
I can get the memo.
Why did you not use that in Cardiff on a certain someone?
I know who you're talking about. Let's not.
Wait, who are you
Hang on,
talking
which
about?
one are you
It's not
talking-
Alistair.
You can cut it,
Oh
don't.
come on, guys! Who does? Right, why are we airing Rosanna's public beef on the podcast? It is,
Rosanna was there.
Rose above it, Rosanna. Wait, rise above it.
that was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
I tried to work it in. I couldn't. oh,
Guys, rose above it. You know?
Rose is coming back.
Oh,
She
my God,
actually
Rose,
is.
Rose
She actually
Noble
is.
coming back.
Oh yeah,
Not the good
as
Rose,
the
but
Doctor.
No.
Not the
Donna's
good Rose.
daughter is going to stand
I
there with an
wouldn't.
iPad in this finale. It's confirmed in the
yeah,
cast
we've
list.
already seen the iPad.
I'm
They go,
so
"Here
done
you
with
go,
the
Rose."
iPads. I'm so done with the iPads.
Why would you
He
wait?
runs in, takes it off the tripod.
Why would you say that name Rose? Like, it's a good name.
Oh, no, but it annoys me because she could be such a good character, like Yasmin Finney. Like, look, in Heartstopper, Yasmin Finney's good. She's given nothing in Doctor Who, and I feel that's such a shame. Make Rose.
I'm moving
give her
these
some
things
stuff.
over here. Oh, I'm transporting that to this system. I'm so fed. Can we ban iPads from Doctor Who? Because there's nothing good has come from them.
Also, instead of iPads, I want them to have that big thing that David Tennant had, like the.
Yeah, why doesn't Shooty have the cool projection thing? It is
What's
solid.
the? Oh,
Yeah, the
that,
projection-y thing.
I like
Why
that.
doesn't he have that?
It was given very like Tony Stark.
Yeah. But
I
right,
just think,
go on, Elise. Give us your final thought.
no, just on iPads, I think it's become the new sonic screwdriver. They don't overuse a sonic screwdriver as much anymore because they just go, don't worry, an iPad will fix it. Beep, beep, beep.
Does an
everything's
iPad not give
fine.
very like middle class mum vibe as well?
I mean, to be fair, they work
What's
for
in
unit.
regards
I think
to,
they
like,
can afford an
Sauvignon on the
iPad.
side?
They've got a bloody tower in the middle of London. I think they can afford an iPad for a couple hundred quid.
Well, they've got a blooming Blinks, haven't they? Why don't they just go, hey,
The
Blinks, can you do is it
Blinks.
Blinks?
What a.
I like the
What's the
idea.
point of the Blinks?
Well, they could have him do all the iPad stuff. They could go, hey, Blinks, reroute the such and such, and
There you
the
go.
polarity of the neutron
Is
flow.
that your version of Empire of Death? Rose is at the back going, "Hey, Blaine,
To be fair, it's about as
Hey.
useful as what you normally do.
hi, Blaine, hi."
I want them to address why Kate Stewart hires children for her workforce. I still can't get over it in the Empire of Death. Kate Stewart's like, not all essential personnel out this room now, go, go, go. And she keeps 3 kids in there.
Honestly, it's good the show's getting
also-
cancelled because Poppy would be in that control
And
room in
also-
series 3.
In Lucky Day, there's a school trip to unit. You're like, hang on a minute.
I also love how of all the
It's
genuine
work experience. It's not a school trip, it's work experience.
Conrad is like, oh yeah, unit, but why doesn't he at any point during this conspiracy thing go, and she hires 12-year-olds? There's 12-year-olds fighting aliens.
To be fair,
Anyway.
Sarah Jane started that. I'm going to say it.
True.
We all lionize her, but she did.
Have we acknowledged Rosanna's Sarah Jane cosplay today?
Well, we have now. Anyway.
There you go. There you go.
It's so uncomfortable. I do not understand how Elizabeth Sladen ran around being like, "Pachoo, alien, where's my Sonic?"
Did you commit to the cosplay? Show us the full fit.
My
Oh
favourite
yeah,
bit.
trying to see my pajamas. Yeah,
Elizabeth Sladen worn pajama.
But like, this is not comfortable. Babes, this is not comfy. Like,
Well,
and
do you have a change of clothes?
what are you trying to say?
Well, I'm trying to set you up so you could say, look, hon, if you got a Dalek up your ass, you don't worry. I'm trying to set you up for a nice, smooth transition. But alas,
I did it before, and I did it before cameras were rolling because I'm just so.
Oops, I
before we were
did
rolling.
again.
Sorry, we save all the exciting stuff for when there's no viewers.
Sorry, if no one's going to go past the fact that Tharries has just sang Britney Spears.
Full version on the
I'm just
Patreon.
trying to remember.
I'm just in my own little world, to be honest.
Have we spoken about this episode for about 15 minutes? Or have we just...
Starting with the blinks.
Well,
I love that
fundamentally, you guys like it.
Yeah.
I don't, but let's, you know what?
Can I talk about the other VFX bit that was dodgy? The one bit of the Rani on her green goblin glider.
Oh, I love that. I thought it was so funny.
Oh, we'll be again, Spider-Man!
When they came out as well, when the Ranis came out and they were sat on that thing, I was like, I think I messaged it to Auntie, like, what in the Christmas invasion is going on here? Like, it is so early Russell T Davies one. It's so like, it's so camp. I love it when they're sat there.
I don't get what, like, the glider, like, it's fun, and I don't actually hate it. It's just sort of like, it's one of those decisions which is a uniquely Russell T Davies thing. Like, no one else would write that in the script, and I kind of love it.
She got on a glider to get some pastrami or whatever it was for that sandwich in Tesco for Conrad. She was like, I'm doing the shop.
Also, we haven't discussed the baby or Conrad really. Not that I want to, because I don't.
Can we discuss it with Adam? Because
yes, let's get our special guest in. Let's see. Artie, do you know Adam's take at all?
He likes it.
I think
a man of good opinions, right? Let's get Adam in here.
Hear me out. It might be time for
let's get Adam in it. What do I do?
It might be helpful if you send him the Zoom link, Artie.
I don't. I forward it.
You know the link that you've got? Pass it on.
Such an idiot. Even I could do that.
I think we found our Artie replacement, everyone.
Hey, hello, Adam.
Oh, hello.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hello, welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, we are here with this week's special guest. Adam, do you want to give us a little intro? Say your history of Doctor Who or something. Spit some bars.
Well, I started watching in lockdown. I think I binged it in about a year. I probably watched up to 6 episodes a day. So, instead of schooling at that time. I'm Artie's cousin. He invited me on here. So, thanks for that.
Shout out to the pages. Who's your favourite Doctor? That's always the good establishing question.
Well, David Tennant's my straight answer, but I feel like that's a bit cliche. But so I am enjoying Shooting Out at the moment. I wouldn't say he's my favourite, but David Tennant, probably followed by. I like the 7th Doctor.
Yeah,
good,
fair.
Good taste.
I think,
good taste.
Tharries, you're a Sylvester McCoy.
Yeah, I am. Favourite classic Doctor, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good taste.
Fair. Well, we've had a lovely discussion about the latest episode where Artie has just decided to go, I hate everything, I despise it. So, Adam, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Give us the rough outline. What were your thoughts on this episode?
I really enjoyed it, actually. I thought the feel of it was very One Division in the way that it was kind of, sitcom-esque. And I also I've really enjoyed the visual style of this series. And I think using the 50s setting really enhanced that.
This is great. You're like the bi-generation of Artie that's actually got good opinions.
I can't believe I'm the only one who really didn't like it. This is not fair.
Even your own flesh and blood doesn't agree with you.
Well, did you not grow up with Doctor Who? Did you just start watching it from lockdown?
Yeah, pretty much. So a few years.
Rosanna feels like fan shaming right now.
Sorry, no.
I'm actually a real fan.
No. I don't know. I find Doctor Who weird if you didn't. Not weird, but as someone who grew up with it, I can't imagine watching Love and Monster.
Oh, fair.
To be fair, I didn't properly start watching it until I was in year 4 or year 5. So like I missed a lot of the childhood Doctor Who.
Yeah, year 5 was about when lockdown hit for me, so that'd been about the same.
You're gonna make Rosanna feel really old now.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
I was waiting for it to clock with Rosanna that you have actually grown up with Doctor Who.
Oh, hang on.
Lockdown was a long time ago.
Rosanna, you're an old woman now.
What? Sorry. That's mental. Oh, you child.
I didn't realise you got into the classic stuff though. Like, how much of the classic stuff have you watched?
I've not watched much of it, but I've watched a few of them. Certainly with my dad, we've watched them on and off a bit. Probably not enough to have a rounded opinion on it, but enough to.
Do you have a favourite one you've seen of the old ones?
Oh.
Put them on the spot now.
I don't remember them well enough.
Fair enough.
What did you think of this episode then? Like, did you like the Rani reveal or?
Not the Rani reveal in this episode.
Oh yeah.
Actually, it's a good place to start though. What were your thoughts on the Rani reveal? Because obviously, it's gone down quite controversially.
I thought it's quite interesting bringing the character back. I've spoken to some people. One of my friends predicted it somehow. I mean, he also predicted the David Tennant regeneration a couple of years back before that was leaked. So I don't know how he's done that. Mm-hmm. But I think it's an interesting choice. But particularly when he brought back the Master, I think it makes sense to bring back the Rani now.
I think this is the thing. Doctor Who had sort of reached the point where they've brought back all the main villains, so they kind of need to be like, who else have we got that we can do a shock reveal? The Rani, like it's about time.
The Rani.
Exactly. Well, they've done him now, and they've done Omega. Actually, after this season,
who have they got left?
What are they going to do?
I think they're going to bring back like.
I want to bring back the Tharries.
I don't think they're going to do like not a classic, but like a 2000s one, like the Vast.
Yeah.
Trickster.
No.
I still think
Trickster's the next one.
Yeah.
I really want them to bring back the Sensorites, but you know how in the Sensorite story they do.
You absolute loser!
Guys, I think the next series finale villain should be the Crotons. Actually, I think that'd be really good.
It should be a series finale vision. But you know how they in the Sensorites episode they're like there's the humans that went before that like terrorized the planet that then made them more hostile to the Doctor. I want the Doctor to be on the spaceship that crashes in to have the internal politics of that, and then end up being on the spaceship that does that.
I might be here to blow your mind, but do you not just think that the Sensorites are a poor man's Ood?
I don't even know what she's talking about.
Imagine the Ood, but without the spaghetti
and
10 times worse.
They're not a slave race. They're just peaceful people. They're just peaceful people.
Adam, have you seen any like spin-offs like Torchwood?
Or Sarah Jane?
Or another show?
Of course she's bringing that up.
I've heard enough about Sarah Jane and the Canine Adventures to not go near it.
Hang on a minute.
You put them on.
Hang on. Right, Canine Adventures, throw that in the bin, right? That can go. But Sarah Jane Adventures. That is the best spin-off Doctor Who's ever made.
If I had the time to watch it all, like I did Doctor Who, I probably would, but no.
I also
20 minutes.
No, Adam. Look, Adam. I agree with you in the sense of Rosanna. I'm sorry. Okay, I am sorry. I'm so sorry. If you have never seen the Sarah Jane Adventures and you watch it as someone who is not 6, it's a kid's show. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
I've seen clips.
It's a very good show, and I love it. I absolutely adore it. And to be fair, that was very harsh. The writing is brilliant. It's a perfect kids show. It's a kids show. The problem is you can't. Do you know what I mean? It's 2000s. It's very fundamentally a kids show, and it's the best kids show of all time. I love it. But if you're watching it as a teenager, do you know what I mean? Like for the first time, I could see why Adam would be like,
Also, give it a try. You never know. It's such a good TV show. And also, I feel like if you watch it alongside Doctor Who and if you watch Torchwood as well, and then you watch the Journey's End and
Why are you giving him homework?
I love that most older teenagers are like peer pressuring people to do like drugs. Roseanne's just peer pressuring. What's the Sarah Jane adventure?
You've got to get your fix. You've got to get your fix of Elizabeth Sladen. Get it in you. Get it.
can't leave you in year 5 in lockdown.
If I find 20 minutes, I'll give it a try.
That doesn't make me feel a bit old.
We can have Adam back, actually. Adam, if you watch an episode of Sarah Jane or an episode of Torchwood or whatever, we'll get you back for your thoughts.
Can Adam do a solo episode that's just a review of Sarah Jane Adventures and it's posted onto this channel with like no explanation at all?
It's genius.
I think if you watch, because also Torchwood, like Children of Earth, is like the best bit of television in the entire world. Like,
it is good.
Mm.
Torchwood Children of Earth is worth checking out. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I just missed the last 5 minutes conversation because someone came into the room. Where are we?
We're pressuring Adam to take drugs.
Rosanna's trying to like gateway drug him into Sarah Jane Adventures.
Look at that woman there. Do you not want to love her?
Elizabeth Den.
I do enjoy her character in the series, but it's the spin-off series that I'm not sure about.
It's fair because the thing is, it's like Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Okay. This is going to be controversial, and I can already tell Rory Stock, you're probably going to get angry. I'm sorry. But I can't get into it because I'm older. Like, as a kid, I enjoyed watching it. But, like, if you watch Star Wars The Clone Wars for the first time, I will say, apart from the final season, I do like that. But if you watch it for the first time as someone who is not a kid, it doesn't have the same magical effect. Yeah. It just doesn't, and I think Sarah Jane, I would not love it as much as I do if I watched it for the first time at this age.
And it was really funny.
It's brilliant. I love the Sarah Jane Adventures. Don't get me wrong, but I can see why.
Myth.
But that's the thing. It's so funny and camp, and brilliant. But if you've never seen it, it's a difficult one to.
Adam, what's your favourite?
Similar with Torchwood. Skip the first 2 series of Torchwood. It's all terrible.
See, I don't agree with that either.
Wrong. Torchwood's banging.
Like Countryside, terrifying. Countryside, bop of an episode.
Series 2 of Torchwood is pretty
Adam,
good.
what's your favourite Doctor Who episode of what's
Countryside's in season 1.
Love.
Oh, I really enjoyed Waters of Mars and
nice. Taste.
Did really like that one. Again, Day of the Doctor's a bit cliche, but I did enjoy that one.
It is good though. It is good.
Yeah, it is very good.
Did you know back in my day we saw that
Back in your day, what?
Why are you acting like
we would have been like 11 years old when it came out though. It's not that.
Old man yells at clouds.
To be fair, that was when we were in year 6. So
no, when you were no, it wasn't. Day of the Doctor, I was in year 6. You were in year 5.
Yeah.
You child.
I remember wanting to go along with my dad to this because my dad was like, I'm going to go to the cinema to watch Doctor Who. And I was like, please, can I come? And he was like, no, I'm going with my friend. And I sat at home and cried. Oh, my dad went to
children can't be seeing Doctor Who at the cinema.
I was like, and my mum was like, it's probably best that he watches it first in case it scares you again. And then I was at home screaming that I wanted to go to the cinema.
Yes, you again is brilliant.
Adam, what's your least favourite episode? Like an episode that you're just
Not least favourite as much, but I think that what's it called? I can't remember the title. It's the Peter Capaldi one where he keeps going backwards and forwards over and over again.
What?
I think that's overrated. I think that episode's overrated.
Hang on. Whoa. The one where he's punching the big wall of diamonds.
Yes. And I knew you'd react like that.
Adam, I brought you onto this podcast and you're embarrassing me right now. What are you doing? What's going on here? Heaven Sent is one of the best episodes of Doctor Who of all time.
I just think it's overrated.
I can kind of see that.
What is your problem?
Right, I can say as the resident Capaldi expert, I
It's just happened.
The word overrated is harsh, but I see what you mean. It is
Worst
a
is-
brilliant piece of television. Worst is that's insane.
No,
But
no.
I
I
think
don't think
people
it's
I had to
give
ask
it
him what's his least favourite, and the first thing that came to mind was Heaven Sent.
Why has Artie's hair got angry with Artie?
It's like Capaldi's.
Clara.
I thought I was angry at the start of this podcast. I am so cross. Oh my God.
But Adam, right? I have a good question. Omega.
Sorry.
Omega, the first Time Lord, as Conrad says.
Run from that, Joseph.
How, for my own mental sanity, we will move on.
Wait, hang on a minute. You watched Love and Monster and thought, that's amazing.
You said Peter Capaldi, and I was like, oh yeah, kill the moon in the forest of the night.
Bleep no more.
No.
Didn't even say a Jodie one.
No.
Outrageous.
Omega is back, okay? As a more like modern Doctor Who fan, you've seen bits of Classic Who. How do those reveals pan to you when like that's do you know what I mean? Because they're built up as like a whoa, and like Sutek as well. Did you find yourself enjoying those reveals, or did you feel like, oh, I don't get who this is? Because one of the things I worry about with them is like for a general audience. Do you know what I mean? Do they play out well? How do you find them?
Sutek, I thought that was a really interesting reveal. I knew a bit about him from reading like books in the past and seeing a few clips, but I didn't know really who he was or what he brought on. I thought his character was portrayed really well, though, in the special, because I could fully understand what it was entailing. With Omega, I thought, well, in my mind, he was more of a legendary character, having not seen him in any of the actual TV show itself. So it's more of a character from
I'm sorry,
Legend.
Artie, can you take that look off your face, please? Can you correct your attitude, Artie?
Just the insinuation. The insinuation that Empire of Death might be quite good. After saying that Heaven Sent is overrated. I'll never forgive you for this.
We're out of touch. We're old now. This is
what the youth are like. Blooming Skippity Riz and Heaven Sent is bad. What is going on?
None of that, please.
I really want Mrs. Flood to say Skippity Riz.
Skippity Riz theory.
Skippity Riz, darling. Skippity Riz.
Oh, that would be so bad.
That would be awful.
Mrs. Flood hits the gritty.
Were you around for dabbing? Was that before?
What are we doing?
Ish. I wasn't. I was maybe a bit young for that.
What about the duck song?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Annoying orange.
I do not remember that.
We're at pen, pineapple, apple,
This
pen.
has gone from a
Pen,
podcast about
pineapple,
Doctor
apple,
Who to
pen.
like
Pineapple.
just to find out.
I have a pen. I have an apple.
I do remember that song.
What about
Apple,
what does the fox say?
Don't remember that.
Do you remember when Gangnam Style came out?
Yes.
Charlie bit my finger.
No.
Bottle flip challenge.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a really weird mix.
Remember Loom Bands?
No, actually, I think I recognise the name. I don't remember
Vine.
what they were.
Were you around for
Yeah.
Vine?
No.
Musically?
We just
Wow.
you know that
I
bit in
love
the
that if
episode
this
where they're
makes
like,
us feel old, there's always multiple comments going, we make them feel old. Like, I'm sorry to everyone watching.
Is this how?
I
is this
understand how you feel now.
Yeah.
It's that bit. You know that bit in the episode where they.
What?
Because I'm trying to figure out which Doctor was on TV the year Adam was born.
Wait, what year were you
David Tennant.
It was David Tennant.
What year were you born?
2010. Early 2010.
It'll be
remember
Matt
the
Smith.
Olympics?
That's Matt Smith.
I do
Smith.
vaguely remember the Olympics.
Smith was the Doctor when you were born.
We went
No.
through 3 doctors at
It
time.
was-
5 years ago, right?
No, because the special End of Time Part 2 was released after my birthday, I'm pretty sure.
No, what? Then
It
you
was
were born
released January 1st,
2009?
2010.
Were you born in January the 1st?
In, not on, in.
I might be wrong. I
Really?
might have misread that somewhere.
When was it?
February.
Yeah, you would have. Matt Smith would have technically been the Doctor, but only just.
Yeah.
We're such
Ah.
nerds.
And the
We're such
Doctor.
losers. We're correcting this poor child.
You were the one doing most.
Actually,
You were the one doing most of it. You were trying to sell Sarah Jane Adventures like it was.
I'm just fueling my love for Sarah Jane, right? I still think this kid should watch Sarah Jane, but it.
This kid. Sprinter Motors.
Do you even remember her death?
Yes.
I thought I was pessimistic about where we're going before, but the idea that the next generation think Heaven Sent is overrated.
I can't.
Shall I get my sister here? Because she's in the next room and she's, I think, the same age as Adam.
Yeah.
Hang on. Right, we have another child.
Another
Rosie, we're going to do a quick test here. What is the worst episode of Doctor Who ever?
I don't know. Oh, the spider one.
What spider one?
Fragmented UK.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
See, that's a normal answer. Sorry, Adam.
Adam,
what is
that's how it's
The kids
done.
are all right.
That's how it's done. When in doubt, pick a Jodie episode.
Oh,
That's
Misogynist.
good advice.
What would you say is the best episode?
The master one, but you know the one I mean.
It
With
comes a
Donna.
drum,
That
The End of Time Part 2.
Yeah.
That's an interesting choice. I don't think it's a bad choice.
that's fun. Yeah, that's fair
Yeah,
enough.
that's a fun episode.
What do the two of you think of the Jodie era, by the way? Because yeah,
You were
It
kids.
peaked around Spyfall, I'd say, and Flux was absolutely dreadful.
I didn't.
Okay.
It wasn't great. I would.
Mm.
What would you say you preferred, Shooty or? Well, you know, just have curiosity.
Shoot you.
Or Judy, I don't know.
Easily shooty.
Yeah, definitely shooty.
So we're heading in
What's-
the right direction.
We're
Excellent.
going upwards.
For both of
No.
you, what's the best shooty episode? You don't need to name the title if you can just remember what happens roughly.
The story.
I liked the one with the landmine. Was it?
Boom.
You know yeah.
That's a good choice.
That one.
Good.
Good
Yeah.
choice.
I'd say The Well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair,
Yeah,
fair.
very
All good
reasonable.
choices.
Rosie, does Joe force you to watch Doctor Who?
Yes.
I do not.
No, he did when I was younger, but not now.
No, I think the reason her favourite is going to be The End of Time Part 2 is because every Christmas Eve, I don't know why it became a tradition, but I'd force my siblings to watch it. The conversion sadly didn't work on my brother, who's now a football hooligan.
That's probably because you forced into End of Time Part 2 every year.
Well, it's a
Probably why.
Christmas episode, isn't it? It was.
Hang on,
Part
you've got
one
the
is
Kylie
Christmas
Minogue
episode.
one.
Part
No,
two
because
is
Good.
New
What
Year's.
are your favourite Christmas episodes?
Oh, yeah.
Favourite
Well, I think we know
Christmas
what
episode.
Rosie's.
Oh yeah, Adam, what's yours?
Voyage of the Damned was pretty good.
Yes.
Yes.
What about Christmas Carol? What's your read?
The kids
Ooh,
know
that's
who.
really bad.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I
No.
like that
Yes.
one.
The kids are
No.
wrong. The kids
Kids
are
know who
wrong.
Kylie
The kids
Minogue
are right.
No.
So who Kylie Minogue is? Rosanna.
You weren't even that old when she was on it.
You somehow transitioned in this podcast into a 40-year-old woman.
The kids know.
Rosie,
What about the
you-
Sarah
now,
Jane
now.
outfit on? and
have
she's
you
turned
watched
into
Sarah Jane
Jane?
Adventures? Or have I
Some-
forced you to watch Sarah Jane?
Well, some of it. We watched it at Grandma's house.
Which bits can you remember? Can you remember any of
The-
it?
I like the wedding one. That's
Yeah,
my favourite one.
yeah.
Mm.
To be fair, Adam, if there was one episode you should watch,
Mm.
there's a crossover where David Tennant comes into the show, and it is
Stop this wedding
Why
now.
did you just say that? You shouldn't have said that bit. You should have just said, "Oh, you should watch the wedding one," so that he could have watched it and gone, "Oh,
No,
he's a
but he
doctor."
needs the David Tennant carrot, you know?
He needs a spoiler alert of as a child you go, oh,
but don't watch the Matt Smith one because
Matt
there's
Smith
just
one's
random.
It's
good.
good! Christmas
I like
Carol's
that
good!
one.
I don't think I've seen
Matt
it.
Smith
It's always
appears in
the
it.
time.
Yeah.
Matt Smith appears in like the last series, but it's really weird, and there's
Probably way before you were born. You wouldn't remember.
Rosie was born
Rosie was born.
Great
Rosie
sibling.
was born.
2009, right?
Yeah.
So that's
So your
David
second half of the year.
David Tennant. So we've got Rosie was there for End of Time Part 1. Adam is just after End of Time Part 2. That's kind of
maybe Matt Smith is the cut-off point. Rosie, what do you think of Heaven Sent?
Oh, I don't know what that is. Which one's that?
You know when the one punches the wall?
Yeah, where Peter Capaldi's punching the wall.
You
might not have watched it properly.
No, I think I have seen it. I don't mind it. I wouldn't say it's good or bad. It's like...
For some reason, I think I was like...
What has happened? What's actually happened? I don't understand how we've got here.
What music do children listen to?
Oh my God, what is this?
These aren't even children.
Are you into that hip-hoppery that they're into these days?
You've got to remember as well, Rosanna has the music taste of like someone 10 years older than her.
Yeah.
Like, you've got a 90s music taste. You're a 2000s baby.
I love the way she's phrasing it, because she's asking these questions to two people who will finish school in the next couple of years. Like, they're not children, and she's just like, what?
Are you both doing your GCSEs?
Are they both doing the GCSE?
I'm doing them next year.
Fair.
You know what? I didn't even
My brother's doing them now.
Yeah. Tharries, get your brother in it.
Hang on.
We did our GCSEs before COVID.
I'll see anything coming. He probably won't. But
next week I'll see if I can get my little, because we've randomly...
I'll send it to my sister as well. Hang on. I was trying to get Ione on, and then I dropped my lamp and I cracked my lamp.
Nice.
How did you... To be fair, I smashed my lamp once. It shattered into a million little pieces.
Are we?
He says...
Can you whack him, Rosie?
Can we crack on with Doctor Who stuff, because I've got to get back to work soon.
Okay, right. Adam and Rosie, we've got. We'll come to our scores in a second, but what would you rate this episode out of 10?
9.
9 out of 10. Artie's going to have a breakdown, but that's a fair score. I like it. Adam's a man of optimism.
What would you rate Heaven Sent?
6.
Okay.
And that's generous, considering he said it was the worst episode of all time.
No. I said it was overrated. There's a difference.
What do you think's an underrated episode?
Underrated, I'd say, is Planet of the Dead.
I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
What's
your underrated episode?
The one with the wooden girl.
Knock Knock.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
My friend Maya really likes that episode.
Maya. Shout out to Maya.
I should get her.
Yeah, special guest. Reluctant special guest. Rosie, what's your rating out of 10 for the episode?
Probably like a 7 or an 8.
7, yeah, 8, yeah. Fair. That's an acceptable score. Go. Be gone, child.
Be gone.
Whack him again. Oh.
Too late.
I loved that. I was so good.
I'm going to rate it a 7 to 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I think it's a fair rate. It was a really fun episode. It was good, but it will go up to an 8 and possibly a 9 out of 10 if the finale is really good, because it's a lot of setup. It's got Artie, it's going to be all right. It's got to be a really good finale, and you've got to do my man Omega justice. If Omega is brought back as a cat, if he's a cat, I might not be that mad if it's good. It's just got to be good. Okay, that's all I care about. It's got to be good. It's got to make me feel.
I've played these games before. I've played these games.
Omega as a cat would be the perfect adaptation.
You've got to cut that out.
Why would you cut it? Does it not give you pause for thought?
Let's all just linger.
The claws are out.
Artie, you're
fired. The first one was funny.
Elise, what's your score out of 10 for Orwish World?
Hair looks cute.
Depending on how the next episode goes.
Sorry, your hair looks lovely today.
Sorry, sometimes the nerds of this podcast just need a little bit of a pick me up. I think I'm gonna put it at or currently it's sitting at an 8.5. If next week is good, it could go to a 9. If next week is bad, it could drop to an 8 or low or lower.
Artie, stop it.
For a second, I thought you were going to say an 11 out of 10.
11. Artie's having a breakdown.
This didn't go how I expected it to go.
Ione, right, we need a quick rundown, okay? Have you seen the latest episode of Doctor Who?
No.
No.
You're on your side.
Okay, have you seen the latest episode?
No.
Okay, without having seen the latest episode, can you give it a rating out of 10?
9.
No.
Yeah.
Yes! We need those high scores. Okay, Rosanna, I feel like I'm on a game show now. Rosanna, give us your score out of 10. What are we going with?
It should be an 8.5 from me.
8.5 out of 10. Way. And Tharries coming in before Artie's miserableness. What are we giving the episode out of 10?
I'm gonna agree with you actually. I'm gonna say a 7, but it'll go up if the finale's good. It'll go down if the finale's bad. So there you go.
There we go. Oh, Adam, and Ione, pretend you've watched the episode. Just improvise, okay? Any random thing you want to say, go for it. Did you spot Tharries in the episode?
Yes.
There we go. And I think that raises all of our scores to a 10 out of 10. Ione, when you didn't watch the episode, did you spot Tharries?
Yes.
Whoa!
Can we hear Artie's miserable score?
Okay, Artie, we're coming to you, okay? Give us your miserable score for this episode.
This didn't go the way I wanted it to go.
Podcast or the episode or
You
both?
look so pathetic and mopey. Sit up straight and actually put in some effort.
3 out of 10.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
I would give it like a 2.5, maybe 3 out of 10.
Jesus Christ.
2.5.
I'm not being funny. Where'd you rate Love and Monster or like?
Why?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've just got to cut it. It's monsters.
No.
Where'd you rate Love and Monsters?
Monster.
Exactly. Back off!
There is Artie, the god of the stabber.
I can't easily rate Love and Monsters because I have quite a lot of nostalgia for watching the DVD, but it's like a 3 maybe.
I don't even think Love and Monsters is that bad. I'm not going to lie.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
It's just a bit cringy, but that's why I struggle to rate it, because I really like it, but I don't know how much of that is just nostalgia.
Okay, what about like a bad Geordie episode then? What do you rate them compared to this?
Would you rate Sleep No More?
That's the one.
2.
Or Curse of the Black Spot?
Sleep No More, maybe Sleep No More might be like the worst episode of No Who.
I actually don't mind Sleep No More.
Not when Legend of the Sea Devils exists, pal.
Adam and Ione, what are your Love and Monsters rankings out of 10?
Only the Love and Monsters one is the one where there's the big...
Love and Monsters is.
Yeah, Elise.
Yeah, Elise. God.
I forgot that you were past that one.
I hated it so much. It's like a 2.
I really enjoyed it. I'd give that maybe a 7 or an 8.
This, friends, explains the political divide of the nation. This is really the
This says so much about society. Elise, shall we get to reading those viewers' comments?
Let's see if no one else here does. Is that right?
It was good. I'll give that joke a 5 out of 10.
What?
No, 5 out of 5, sorry. 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I was going to say
Flawless. Marvellous. Next comment.
Marvellous. I'm really enjoying this podcast every week. I love that you have different opinions and don't all just agree. Very true.
Yeah, apart from...
We all agree with each other this week. You ganged up on me.
Artie, you're saving the podcast. Without you, there'd be no jeopardy. There'd be no
drama.
Exactly. You are...
You're giving it the panache, Artie.
The drama is, will I just mentally make it through to next week? Because I genuinely think I'm breaking down. I don't understand.
You will. You're contractually obligated to appear in Joe's videos. Otherwise he'll whip you.
Next comment.
Murray Mint 8599. Am I the only one who prefers this episode to the story in the engine? Yes.
What's the story in the engine?
The week
Spider
before one.
No,
That was bad.
That's 2
Stellar
weeks
Song
ago.
Contest was so much better than
Ooh,
the story in the end.
controversy. Ione, have you seen it? No. Adam, what did you think of it?
Story in the Engine was one of the worst episodes in a long time.
Ooh, fair,
Wow.
fair. It's controversial. What was it you didn't enjoy about it?
I'm just checking. That's the one in the barbershop, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought it didn't have any particular villain in really, because it's almost like it got to the end and all was the villain just apologized, and it kind of rendered the whole episode pointless.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I quite enjoyed it, to be fair, but we're all, this is a podcast, a different perspective. It's what the viewers love. Next comment.
A name suggestion: Up Who Street without a paddle.
Nah, that's gonna boost Joe's little ego too much.
What,
That's what I
uphill,
think.
uphill
Up
street.
Up
without
Who
a-
Street?
Up
Who?
Who
Oh,
Street?
Yeah,
marvelous.
season 4.
Where are you up to at the moment? Where are you on your?
Forest of the Dead. I was watching it earlier.
That's a shit episode. Just skip right past it. It's pointless.
What?
Wait. The series
Forest
4.
of the Dead, not in the
Not
forest.
in the Forest of the Night.
Oh!
River Song's first appearance.
Oh no, that's a really good episode. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Next comment.
The looking down on Eurovision fans is a bit disappointing, especially because you're literally on a Doctor Who podcast. You know how people are mean.
I mean, I can't. Actually, Adam and Ione, what are your thoughts on Eurovision?
When you were all dissing Eurovision, I was like, guys, be careful because there's a lot of Eurovision.
I didn't diss Eurovision.
I got angry DMs. People were DMing me, being like, "I think Eurovision is the best night of the year." So shut up.
No, I think. Look, I respect all opinions on this podcast. It was Artie once again with the negativity. We were.
No,
You said last week. You were like, anyone who likes Eurovision doesn't have a personality.
Yes, but I was jumping on a bandwagon. Elise was very much driving the cart.
Please, who hurt you that liked Eurovision?
I think everyone said out of their perspectives, and it was a joke. It was a joke, Mark. It was a Christmas joke.
Either way, Joe,
We were
to
simply
ask the
joking.
question of the youth and the adults have all talked over them. Adam and Ione, what Eurovision? Is it cool? Is it hip?
It's by no means cool. Not at all. It's a
Careful, you're
laugh.
gonna get hate comments.
Ione, what are your thoughts?
No, I'm not a big Eurovision fan.
Do you also find that people who like Eurovision are boring?
Well,
Elise would say this. I would
No.
never.
Nah.
well, me and Ione have another sister, and Ailish's music taste is essentially just Eurovision songs.
Let's get Ailish in.
Ailish has the music taste of an H&M shop. So bad.
Ailish is getting destroyed.
Thank you all for watching this podcast.
I'll say it then.
I think it probably should be. If you've made it this far, I'm really surprised, and you know what? Well done.
A little bit concerned, to be honest. What else have you got going
Be
on?
back with the Who crew next week.
We're not called the
Please
Who
round
crew.
us out.
Satellite 5. Satellite 5's fun. I
We'll
like
try for a podcast name by next
It's like
week.
all the ones-
Ione, do you have a good podcast name?
Doesn't it change every week? I thought that was the thing.
Nah, but we want like a solid a sticker.
No, we
What's-
don't. No,
We
don't.
need one for marketing. People can't just go, oh, that that podcast that's quite bad. Like, it's got to have a name.
Because you put on the thumbnails, it's like who has a good name because we still haven't decided. I think that's a good podcast.
That's
I
so
don't-
long, though.
Also, to be fair, I don't think the title is the reason that we're the tank in your analytics.
Right, can we wrap this up because I can smell something burning. Right,
Right, Tharries, drop it while it's hot.
All right, yeah. Now that's what I call a giggle. See you next week.
The show's
Bye,
cancelled.
everyone.
I've had enough. It's over. Last episode.
What is happening?
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Confused Adipose YouTube channel.
I will destroy you! She's not seen a single episode.
No, I've watched your episodes.
Keep these sonic screwdrivers.
What else am I saying about the film? Don't watch this one.